Wow, Ryan Garcia's legal team drops a bombshell. They are now saying they have had Ryan Garcia's supplements tested. Breaking news, tested supplements. And it says that the substances were found to have Ostarine, which is exactly what Ryan tested positive for. Breaking news, Lance Pugmire, link in the description. Ryan Garcia claims testing of supplements proves contamination. Ryan Garcia's legal team claimed in a Thursday statement that 2 supplements the fighter ingested before his April 20th victory over Devin Haney have been tested and showed results of Ostarine contamination. By submitting 2 positive tests as B samples for that banned substance, California's Garcia confronts a ban fine and an overturned victory from the New York State Athletic Commission. In a Thursday statement, Garcia's legal team, headed by attorney Darren Chavez, texted a prepared statement to Boxing Scene and other news outlets reading, "The test results from samples of 2 supplements declared by Ryan Garcia on VADA doping control forms signed on April 19th and 20th have returned positive for Ostarine contamination. This confirms what we have consistently maintained. Ryan Garcia was a victim of supplement contamination and has never intentionally used any banned or performance-enhancing substances." Chavez, the attorney, attached photos of the 2 supplements he claims were tested by Sports Medicine Research and Testing in Utah, NutraBio's raspberry lemonade flavor, super carb, and also Body's Health Perfect Amino Powder. The statement was Garcia's first public mention of the supplements. So they sent it to a WADA accredited lab. And keep in mind, this video is not going to be the longest because I'm going to do a deep dive into this very subject matter. Make sure you guys come in and subscribe. I will do a longer, deeper dive into the video. Ryan Garcia has posted this. It says Ryan Garcia's drug test fails Ostarine. Drug test fails Ostarine contamination legal team. Right? Ryan says, "No weapon against me shall prosper. Thank you to those who believed in me all along. May God bless everyone." Henry Garcia has also posted this, and he says, "I hope you guys are happy to know that Ryan Garcia never cheated, and you should apologize to him. All those phony accusations from Bill Haney and his dumb team, Victor Cunty, Daniela Rayfield, Bill and his son, who said Allah told him, Daniela Rayfield, who hasn't posted anything as of yet, haha. But if Ryan was guilty, he would have been the first one to post. I'd like to thank everyone who supported us through these difficult times. Like Ryan said, best God will prevail. Let's go." Interesting. So his legal team is saying that this is contamination and there was no intent to cheat. Now, again, I'm going to do a longer video and give more of my thoughts. I'm not going to say too much in this particular video, but this looks very interesting. Notice the Haniacs and the known Haniac channels and platforms and content creators are always going to be slow to react. When the news comes out that's negative for Ryan Garcia, they'll immediately make videos. Ryan cheated. He's a bloody cheat. I knew he was cheating. Me on my channel, best in the business, and it's not even close. I told you this is such a weird fight. The whole thing was a complete ish show. Let's wait and see how this even plays out. Let's let this investigation play out. I said I have nothing further to even comment on this. That was always been my approach. See what happens. I don't have all the facts. I don't have all the details. I'm not the commission. I'm not the WADA accredited labs and all that. So we got to see how this thing plays out. Meanwhile, the Haniac said, F that. We don't need to see how this plays out. Ryan's a cheater. They accused him, drug his name through the mud, and now it looks like his legal team has come out and they're trying to swing back and clear his name and they're saying that they have found 2 substances that Ryan declared beforehand, and these 2 substances have been found to have Ostarine. So they're saying it's supplement contamination. The thing I will say is, if you have a justifiable excuse, you could still face penalty because there's strict liability. So you could still receive some type of suspension, but just keep in mind, typically the suspension is not going to be quite as drastic if you can kind of explain it. Like if Ryan Garcia had no patsy, no scapegoat, or let's say he was on something and he tested positive for something that's synthetic and injectable and is only injectable, then he would be screwed. You know, you'd be screwed. But now this is a huge swing of the pendulum in favor of Ryan Garcia in terms of whatever type of punishment. I'm not the commission, never was, never claimed to be. So I'm not going to pretend to know how they're going to handle this. But he did go to a WADA accredited lab in Utah, and if they did these testing, and here's the thing, would they be, you guys let me know in the comment section, would they go through these lengths and mention the product names, mention a testing facility that's WADA accredited if they didn't go through these steps? Because I know how the Haniacs think. They're going to say, oh, how do you know that Ryan Garcia really got this stuff tested? I mean, how do you know that he didn't? How come when it's Devin Haney and anything his team says or Bill Haney says or Victor Conti, everybody just believes it, or at least the Haniacs believe it. But then when Ryan Garcia's team says they did something and they were going to try to fight to clear his name, then all of a sudden the Haniacs don't believe it. Just like I can assure you, a lot of the Haniacs are going to be slow to react to this news, almost as if they didn't see it. Meanwhile, this was never my battle. I'm not the pro fighter. I didn't fail any drug tests. I'm here on YouTube, a full-time YouTuber, to give you the best in boxing, and I do that. And I told you that my stance was to wait and see. It seemed weird that Ryan passed all of his drug tests and then would choose and elect to wait so close to the fight, namely fight week, and pop on the 19th and 20th when the fight was on the 20th. That never sat well with me. And I told you that contamination could be a possibility. But the Haniac said, no, Devin looked poorly because he was in there with the cheater. And they ran with this, and now his legal team has deferred, and the ball is in Haney's court to prove that they didn't get this tested in the lab and everything else is a lie or whatever. And we got to now see what the commission, because the commission is not dumb. So they're not going to just go off of something. There has to be some kind of paper trail. And it looks like that's what Ryan Garcia's team has been working on. So this is huge news for Ryan Garcia when it comes to the latest in this soap opera, if you will, this big drama that is unfolded with this particular fight. Also, it looks bad for Devin Haney because Devin Haney, the day the news dropped, Devin Haney took to social media and Devin Haney was like, I didn't want to be that guy. I knew Ryan Garcia was on something, but I wanted to take my loss in stride, and he cheated. And I was like, this is weird that because before that we hadn't really seen Haney on camera at all. So literally the day that the news broke, he's doing a live in studio with ESPN, and he's like, I knew Ryan was cheating and I've never been outmatched like this. I made a video about all this. I always thought that was kind of weird. In the middle of a pending investigation, somebody popped dirty, they have due process, and you run to social media when you've been very inactive and dormant after the loss to Ryan Garcia, and then you're trying to make it worse. And then the Haneys were writing 8-page letters. All of that seemed pretty bizarre, but I will make a longer video regarding this topic. Ryan Garcia team has claimed supplement contamination. Now we're back with part 2. Before I get started, let me give you guys this PSA. When it comes to this situation, your boy Ego played it the right way. I told you, let's wait and see how this thing plays out. This fight with Ryan Garcia from the beginning has been a circus, and I call it a show. From the beginning, lots of twists and turns. It's funny now, I received a lot of criticism for my stance saying, let's wait for this thing to play out, because I like to see all the chips down, everything on the table, lay out the facts, and see where we are. A lot of people criticize this. A lot of people sneak dissed. Content creators said, no, let's convict him. You know, like the Salem witch trials, Ryan Garcia, guilty, guilty. This latest information, which we're going to get to, there's a lot to go over. You can listen to me, the level-headed person that told y'all from the beginning the right information. During an investigation, you say less and let it play out. Other people, they were trying to convict Ryan Garcia straight away, and I told you that wasn't the right approach. Now you look in the comment sections, you see on the post, it's blowing up in their face. Me, I never have to worry about that because I give everybody a fair shake. Now, there's a lot of bad information and bad actors in the sport of boxing where the information comes out and it's completely false and fabricated. Again, my name is Ego. I've covered boxing over 10 years. You can take my word for it, or you can listen to Brand X. But I'm here to tell you, bet on us. And I notice, particularly with the Haniacs, this is something they like to do. The Haniacs do not want to gather the facts. They're just so radical. They want to convict. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about nothing else. And this is what they'll do. They'll take things that I haven't even really heard people saying, but let's say there's a small minority of people who are saying it, and that'll be the whole catalyst to their argument. There might be, because this whole drug scandal, Ryan Garcia, has a lot of twists and turns. So there might be some people, a minority, again, who are putting out bad or misinformation. So what the Haniacs like to do is act like that's the opinion of everybody. There are some people who are putting out misinformation, saying things like, you know, VADA cleared Ryan Garcia. I've never said that on my channel. So you are free to use anything that I say against me. VADA hasn't cleared. And again, there's a lot of misinformation. I will present everything in this video. So make sure you guys, without further ado, stay tuned to that. But it's going to get a lot interesting. And it's funny, just like you see the radical fans of the Haniacs, they look like they're about to blow a gasket and angry and stuff like that. I don't have a horse in the race. I'm telling you what it is. Ryan's side has spoke up. They said they have new evidence that needs to be submitted. We'll see how this plays out. Like I said from the beginning, this is a good place to start. So the company that reportedly had Ryan Garcia, his supplements, 2 supplements tested, which they did name, we'll get to that. The company is called SMRTL, right? It's based out of Salt Lake City, Utah. And guess what? This is a WADA approved and a WADA, look, you see the WADA logo and ISO. So it has the WADA certification.
Hello, I'm Travis Tigert from USADA about a group of drugs that we're finding in a lot of dietary supplements known as SARMs. Please read the advisory. We think it's being intentionally put in dietary supplements, maybe through contamination as well. Sometimes it's on the label, sometimes it's not on the label. We've had a number of positive tests and we want you to be aware of it, and include names like Ostarine,
You guys see that? So there's a lot of bad and misinformation about that just in itself. So look, I'll show you guys real quick. World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA. So this is an approved lab that they use where they can do, and if I'm not mistaken, this is like there's like only a few in the United States that are WADA certified, right? And this one, I believe, does blood work and urine, right? So they can test for all types of stuff. Look, it says new tests are applied as developed, CIR, EPO, HGH, blood passport. So this particular lab can do a little bit of everything. Right now you see on your screen Rachel Donaire, the wife of famed fighter Nonito Donaire. And it says Victor Conti and VADA doesn't test your sample. WADA does, right? WADA does. So there's a lot of people who they don't even understand that VADA is sending the samples to a WADA lab, right? So that confuses a lot of people right then and there. But Rachel Donaire eloquently put, Victor Conti and VADA doesn't test your sample. WADA does, right? VADA does not process your urine. You do. Check Nonito Donaire's video. If you don't believe me, check your paperwork. Ryan, WADA is listed. So I think it's important now that he went through this supplement company, right, that is WADA approved. One of the only in the state. To further that, let me show you guys this. So you guys see that? This is WADA's own website, right? So the official WADA website. This is a list of accredited laboratories from WADA's own site directly. And we need to scroll down because this is overseas, Bucharest and all these other places. We're trying to get to one of the few in America, and boom, we got action. Salt Lake City, you guys see it, WADA's own website, the Sports Medicine Research and Testing Laboratory. So I'm giving you guys the very basics. We got to crawl before we can walk. So Ryan had this sent to SMRTL Laboratory, which is WADA approved. I'm showing you not only on their website, but I'm showing you on, you guessed it, WADA's website. So this is where he had the supplements tested, which is a place that WADA sends samples to, and one of the only few in America that does the testing. Because you look, Seoul, Korea, that's a Korea. You got Stockholm, Sydney, Australia, Tokyo. These are all like overseas. There's only a few WADA accredited, right? So let's start there. So Ryan's team, they said they sent it here to Salt Lake City to do the testing, and it tested positive for Ostarine. Now, I'm not the smartest brother in the world, but if you read the articles, there's some name dropping. They're dropping 2 supplement companies, and they're also dropping SMRTL and saying we got samples tested there, which is WADA approved, as I just showed you. So again, I'm not the smartest brother in the world, but I personally don't think that Ryan's attorney would be listing a laboratory if they did no testing, right? Meaning they're just name dropping, oh, we had some samples and they found Ostarine in the samples, but they didn't test anything. To me, that doesn't really sound logical, especially if you're trying to present this stuff. Like, basically, if you're lying, if you didn't have any tests ran, right, from this WADA accredited testing agency in Salt Lake City, they're not going to just vouch for you. It's not like missing school and then you can maybe get your doctor to write you a doctor's note for why you didn't go back to work because you had an appointment, or, you know what I'm saying? This is like the laboratory's neck would be on the line as well. So I do believe that Ryan, his team and his lawyer is not dumb enough to name drop a lab that didn't do any testing and find a positive test with the Ostarine. So now we get back to the article. Ryan Garcia is claiming test supplements prove contamination. Says submitting his test and B sample. So Ryan's team has said they're trying to get to the bottom of this, right? And this is what I'm talking about. In a Thursday statement, Garcia's legal team, headed by attorney Darren Chavez, texted a prepared statement to the news outlet, right? Now, in the part 1 of this video, I went over Boxing Scene's article. I'm also going to show you ESPN just in case you feel, oh, this article, maybe they're biased for Ryan or whatever. Now, keep this in mind. Victor Conti says when he was trying to prove about the hair, because Ryan said he had hair follicle test or something done. Victor Conti just tweeted this out May 25th, and it says, and he's referencing WADA right there. And he's quoting sections out of WADA for the Ryan Garcia. So WADA can't be that bad if you're using it to try to condemn Ryan Garcia. So I've already established in this video since it's begun that Ryan, his team, they used a WADA accredited lab, which you see Victor Conti, who's skeptical and part of Team Haney, is also crediting WADA when he's using information to use against Ryan Garcia. Brings us to ESPN. 2 Ryan Garcia supplements test positive for Ostarine. Again, the Haneyacks are trying to focus in on the minority of maybe a few people, if any, that are misquoting this. Ryan wasn't cleared by VADA, all this type of stuff. But this does help his case with this newfound information, and I'll explain. Stay tuned to the end of the video. It says 2 supplements listed on doping control forms submitted by star Ryan Garcia before his win showed the presence of Ostarine. Again, I'll start with baby steps because a lot of you guys don't necessarily know what a control form is. So this one is a VADA, or actually it's a WADA control form, because I wasn't able to get my hands on it. But you guys see it's pretty much the same concept. Again, notice when it comes to Boxing Ego videos, you know I'm surgical with this bit. I'm real surgical. I don't just rush and put together videos for you guys. You guys can see the quality on the screen. You see it. I'm showing you. I'm giving you quality. There's audio quality. If you like that, please subscribe, hit the like button. So this is a WADA control form, just to give you guys an idea of what one is, right? And it's kind of like a questionnaire, if you will. And in this questionnaire, it's asking you questions. It'll have sections where, you know, it'll say if it's a female, are you pregnant? What's your age? What's your gender? Do you have health issues? Blah, blah, blah. And various things that they need to know from the athlete, right? Here's another page. Then there's generally a section for additional comments, concerns. They got some blank space that you can complete, and you could put any supplements that you happen to be on in those sections. Me, I've been around boxing long enough, so I've seen these in person, and I've watched fighters, or sometimes it's the fighter's team. Like if they have a nutritionist or something, because the nutritionist knows exactly, you know, what the fighter's on. Like let's say, you know, strength and conditioning guy or whatever. So it might be easier for them to fill it out. But I've been around and I've seen it. That's basically what it is. And again, I got to start with baby steps. If you're an advanced boxing watcher and you already knew what a control form was, then good on you. But there's a lot of people with different levels of knowledge, so I have to cover everything. Hopefully you guys understand. So this ESPN article says 2 supplements that were listed on doping control forms that were submitted by star Ryan Garcia before his win. Hopefully you guys can see it. Before his win. So what does this mean? There are people who left me conversations and comments in my last video where they're saying, oh, but Ryan, he said that he doesn't take supplements. What they're responding to is a tweet, and I will show you. So you guys can basically see it on the screen. At some point, I don't even have the context to which he said it. Ryan says, I don't even take supplements, LOL. So somebody must have said something, and he said he doesn't even take supplements. Only problem is this is from December 3rd, 2022. Even if he said it multiple times, but this particular tweet that people are talking about is from a year and a half, 2 years ago. So are you not human where you have said something and then maybe change your mind? Like, I know people who say, oh, I don't smoke, I don't drink. And later on, you meet up with them in life and like, hey, I didn't think you smoked weed, or, oh, I didn't think you drank. You said you didn't drink when we used to work together, but now they drink. You know, who cares? It's a supplement. You know, who cares if Ryan Garcia at some point in a year and a half, 2 years time started taking supplements? Now, he shouldn't be taking banned substance. That's something else. But they're saying they found a contaminated substance in his supplements, right? So I think that's a straw man argument. Something like that wouldn't hold up in court, showing, oh, but you previously said you don't even take supplements, as if nothing changes from year to year to year. And the tweet was from 2022. Come on. Beyond that, I think a lot of people miss this, and the Haniacs are going crazy, so I don't look for them to speak the real. The report says 2 supplements listed on the doping control forms. I already just told you what a control forms submitted by Ryan Garcia before his win over Devin Haney. So that means that he declared that these 2 supplements was something he was taking before he went into battle with Devin Haney. So I've already went over the straw man argument of bringing up Ryan saying I don't take supplements 2 years ago. That doesn't hold up in court. Things change year upon year. Maybe he decided he want to take amino acids now. Get over it. Second, when we're talking about this situation with Ryan Garcia, there were comments on my last video and people were saying, man, Ryan, where did he just come up with these 2 supplements? Again, these people didn't read. The Haniacs didn't read or can't read or whatever. It says that he listed this on his VADA control forms before the fight. So again, the commission would have to verify these claims. But for me, I look at it like this. Ryan's legal team is pretty bad if they're putting out press releases saying, hey, we had supplements tested at SMRTL lab and they really didn't. Or if they said, oh, he declared the supplements that tested positive for Ostarine on his VADA control forms, and then that would be so easy for the New York Commission to double check to see if those substances or supplements were on that control form. So I would like to give his team a little bit more credit that they're not so stupid that they're world's dumbest criminals where they're going to lie outright with something that's so easy to disprove if it weren't in fact true. Like, you're not going to be able to submit something from, and you just made it on Photoshop and then submit it and you didn't actually go through a laboratory. I don't think the New York State Commission is that lax and foolish where they won't be able to tell if it's a forgery. You see what I'm saying? Let's keep going. So it says the supplements were listed on his control forms, and it says before his win over Devin Haney, and they showed the presence of a banned substance, Ostarine, according to Sports Medicine Research and Testing Lab that I just told you about. Their reports released Thursday. So again, this is a WADA accredited testing laboratory. This is not like Johnny in his basement playing scientist. This is one of the few in America that you can go to that's certified or accredited by WADA. And according to ESPN and Ryan's team, they're saying that this information matches up with their research. It says the doping control forms which were viewed by ESPN, were submitted a lot. Oh, wow. See, this is my first time reading it, so I'm learning something too. So now this ESPN article says that the doping control forms, so maybe Ryan's team sent it out to ESPN like picture proof. Okay, so that changes things. But that just goes, this is a non-rehearsed, non-scripted video on the fly. Boom. And now we just get the information. What I just said, that would be so stupid to lie about these things, which you could easily disprove if someone said, hey, I went to this lab and they said it tested positive for Ostarine, and the lab's like, no, we didn't. That would just be so easy. Like, you can't send that to the commission. And now ESPN is saying they viewed, you guys see it on the screen. Again, the difference between BOXINGEGO, I'm showing you. It says which were viewed by ESPN. The doping control forms, I just showed you what a doping control form is. They were submitted alongside Garcia's urine sample collection on April 19th and 20th. So to all the people in my last video that were saying, oh, Ego, where did these new supplements come from all of a sudden? Ryan said he didn't take supplements. Well, the date in question, the 19th and 20th, he filled out his VADA control forms, or his team did, and they declared these supplements that have now been sent to the SMART lab in Salt Lake City, Utah, and they said they did find levels of Ostarine in it. So the day before, that's the days he filled, the day before and the day of the fight, both supplements of which returned adverse findings for Ostarine. It says the supplement, they even list the name of the supplements. Raspberry lemonade, they have the exact flavor. So it's not like they're like, oh, we got this, I don't remember what flavor it was. They're saying specifically what it is. Raspberry lemonade flavor, neutral bio supercarb, which showed the presence of Ostarine at 70 to 2200 picograms per gram powder, and Body Health strawberry flavored amino acid blend, which showed these levels. So they have the specific levels, 660 to 830 picograms. The other supplements Garcia tested on the form were D3 iron, Thorne Elite multivitamins, and magnesium glycinate. So he also had said, hey, I'm taking vitamin D3, I'm taking iron and magnesium glycinate and whatever Thorne Elite. So these didn't test positive. Paul Green, who represented UFC stars John Jones and Sean O'Malley in doping cases, told ESPN on Thursday he's hopeful the presence of Ostarine in those supplements will lead to a reduced suspension for Garcia from the New York State Athletic Commission. More Haniac lies. The Haniacs have said Ryan Garcia, the Haniacs have said that people are trying to say Ryan beat the case. No one said he beat the case. They said they expect a sanction, but they're looking to have a reduced suspension because there's strict liability, which we'll talk about hopefully at the end of this video. Says, oh, here it is. The commission's doping rules adhere to strict liability, which means the fighter is responsible for any supplements they take. So Ryan's team is not arguing that they should get off scot-free. That's one of the lies that the Haniacs are spreading, saying that Ryan Garcia beat the case and fans think he beat the case. His representative is not saying that. It says Green acknowledges there was still a negligent component to Garcia's actions, but he's arguing that it was innocent mindset. It was an innocent mindset, meaning he didn't intentionally do that. So that's where we're at with it. It says WADA Association Code actually recognizes a declaration of a supplement in advance as proof that the athlete took it and allows an athlete to get a reduced sanction in most cases, said Green. The founding partner of Global Sports Advocates, who is representing Garcia alongside 3 other attorneys. It says, quote, I am hopeful that the punishment will be on the very lowest end of how they determine these cases, he added. Normally, there's a range of sanction based on the degree of fault. And when you have a situation where you have a contaminated supplement where it's not available in the internet search, it's not revealed on a label, there's no way an athlete could have possibly known the banned substance was in there unless they would have sent it to one of the two WADA accredited laboratories in advance. You guys get it? So he's arguing that without knowledge, you don't know of cross-contamination. If they're not putting on the label and then it secretly has amounts of X, Y, and Z, or Ostarine in this case, then how was Ryan to know? But they represent Ryan with hopefully the punishment is on the low end because he didn't maliciously do that. Like basically it's unintentional. That's why he's saying an innocent mindset. But he does realize that there's a negligent component. So keep that in mind. Green hopes Ryan Garcia can avoid a hearing with the commission and all sides. The WBC, New York State Athletic Commission, and the fighters team can come to an agreement on the punishment. So he wants something fair and light for Ryan. We understand Ryan is going to get some sanction. Once again, the Haniacs have been proven to be liars. He's telling you, we understand there's going to be some sort of punishment for Ryan Garcia. He literally said that. We understand Ryan Garcia is going to get some sanction. So basically, we're going to get in trouble for this because it was negligent on Ryan's behalf, and he's still responsible, strict liability for what's in his system. But we feel like given this evidence, now it should be a light sanction. He believes 4 months or less. So they're pleading their case to get a slap on the wrist, shorter sanction. They believe 4 months would be most appropriate. Of course, not everyone agrees. Victor Conti, who works with Haney, but see that right there, that just sounds bad. Not everyone agrees, said the guy who works with Haney. like you see what I'm saying? And was involved in Balco. Like that doesn't, of course, the ops ain't gonna agree. As a sports nutritionist and performance advisor, he told ESPN the supplement test results simply cannot be authenticated because there was no chain of custody. Indeed, the lab reports indicated the supplements submitted were unsealed. But there's a lot of people who are caught up on this. If Ryan disclosed that he was taking these supplements and then he sent them, of course they're unsealed. Victor Conti wants Ryan to buy more of the same lot number and have them all tested, which would come out of Ryan Garcia's pocket. Why are the testing powders from unsealed supplement containers, said Conti, the founder of Balco. He served time in prison. Look at how bad this sounds. He served time in prison after pleading guilty to conspiracy distribute. So they're interviewing the guy and then saying he served prison time for conspiracy to distribute performance-enhancing drugs before founding Snack, a sports nutrition company. Only in boxing. In my opinion, it seems likely that tampering may be involved. So the PED guru is saying that they tamper with it and put Ostarine in it. That's basically what he's saying. Testing of a product samples from unsealed containers of the same manufacturing number is the place to start if the results are to be considered credible. How can test results from an unsealed container possibly be authenticated? This is not how credible science is conducted. My only question is, if you tested positive for whatever, you popped dirty, and how would you even know how much Ostarine to sprinkle into a supplement to yield the type of results that are in line with how much Ryan had in his system? That seems very specific. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you have to be like Bill Nye, the science guy, you have to be some super specialist to do that, to know. Do you guys get what I'm saying? To know the exact ratio, like for me, I don't do drugs. I don't mess with drugs. I don't deal with Ostarine. So if I was trying to like spike my supplement and then mix it in and send it to the lab to have it tested, I wouldn't even know, do I put a half a teaspoon? Because like if you put some ungodly amount and then it tested positive where it was like 90%, then that would be too obvious. So you would have to put like very specific amounts, I would imagine, for it to not be so startling where it's like, hey, 90% of this amino acid is Ostarine, you know, and I don't even know how you would determine that. Like, would it, again, I'm not in this world, so it makes sense why I don't know. Like, it's not like cooking and you're using garlic powder and you're like using black pepper and you're like, I could eyeball it. So I don't even know how that would even work. Ostarine is a selective androgen, blah, blah, blah. A SARM attaches to proteins. Ostarine has been on WADA's banned list since 2008. And in 2022 was listed as an anabolic agent by WADA. Ryan said, I don't know where the adverse finding came from. That's what he said in Saudi Arabia. Honestly, bro, I don't. I was taking ashwagandha, D3 omega, just normal-ish. I don't know what the F Ostarine is, Ryan says. I have seriously no idea. I would tell everybody the truth. My whole thing is I'd rather tell the truth than to try to fabricate it with a lie, Ryan Garcia said, because lies don't stand. So if I really did take it, I would be like, honestly, I was going through a weird situation. I wasn't really confident. I chose to take it. I'm sorry. And that's it. But I didn't, and I hate cheating. All I could say is my legal team can help me figure this out. Garcia floored Haney 3 times with a majority decision. Ostarine has been used in boxing before. Lucian Bute, Amir Khan, yada, yada, yada. You guys get it. Some of you guys continue to leave disrespectful comments like the one you just seen. The dude said, "You're a clown. How come ESPN is not reporting it?" The whole section I just went over was ESPN reporting it. Again, the Haniacs, they ain't got no chill, so I gotta destroy you. I gotta destroy you. This is where we're at with the whole situation. Ryan Garcia's team is fighting back, and now we got to see what's next. Don't let the Haniacs fool you. Nobody's saying that Ryan Garcia will or won't get punished. What I've said to you from the beginning, which is proven to be sound advice, is let's let this thing play out. And I couldn't have said it any better. That was the best advice that I gave you guys all. Again, this fight is full of twists and turns. Your boy Ego continues to get it right. I said, let's wait for the investigation. Let's see what's found. Let's see what people say, yada, yada, yada. The Haniacs, they were like, no, that's not good. Ryan did it. I'm not waiting. And they took a different approach. Now they getting buried in their comment section. I told you this year was going to be the worst year for some of you content creators. Not telling the truth, lying, clickbait. And again, you got to ask yourself, why are people taking this so personal? You would almost think that they were Devin Haney. Like, they're taking it like they're at trial versus Ryan Garcia. It's like, why is it so personal to you? Me, I told you from the beginning, I don't have a horse in the race. I have an opinion. There's always been certain things with this Ryan Garcia PED fail that I felt didn't add up, and no one really filled that in. Why wait till the week of the fight to cheat? This seems like the hottest point of the fight to cheat. He passed all his other tests. A bit weird. Why not cheat, or at least get caught cheating or whatever, versus Gervonta Tank Davis, a menacing southpaw puncher, but then you're going to cheat for Devin Haney, right? And that's just what it is. There were so many things that like that were very unexplained. Why did it take multiple weeks until Canelo Munguia fight week for the information to come back out? It's just a lot of things. That's why I told you it'd be better to wait. Let's see how it plays out. Now, Ryan's team, again, they're not asking for like full clemency or anything like that. According to this ESPN article, they believe that there still could be a sanction due to strict liability. But I would say this honestly helps Ryan Garcia's case if they got the paperwork to back it up, that this laboratory found Ostarine in the 2 supplements. Ryan Garcia also took to his social media and says lawsuits are being planned. So in response to all this news that just came out, Ryan says lawsuits unfortunately will be sent to those supplements, and I need to talk to the man who gave me them. This is just sad. So Ryan Garcia says it ain't over. He's suing people off of this because people try to taint his win and take away his win. It's going to be very interesting how this all plays out. We still haven't heard from the New York State Commission at this point. I got to see how they respond. But being a first-time offender, if he's able to back up these claims, which he's saying online. See, the Haneyacks, they never believed him anyway. When Devin Haney lost initially, they were saying Ryan cheated anyway. Before the Ostarine test even came into the picture, they were saying he cheated with the 3.2 pounds. Now, notice anything negative about Devin Haney, they don't report it. Anything negative about Ryan Garcia, they do report it. Anything like if the B sample is open and it's shown positive, content creators quickly rush the content out. But then they don't want to rush the content out when Ryan has these curveballs like what just happened here, and he got some lab who's accredited by WADA saying that they tested it and did find Ostarine, you know? So it'll be interesting. Bill Haney wrote an 8-page letter saying they want this reversed to a win. I said that's doubtful. At best, a no contest, no decision if they do overturn it. Bill Haney wanted more than that. Devin Haney wanted more than that. They want an actual victory from here. And with Ryan potentially being able to prove this, that there was supplement contamination, I really definitely don't see you getting the victory. But I'm not the commission. The other thing is, Bill Haney went on TMZ pitching a lifetime ban. It's not going to happen. If he has a laboratory that said they tested and found Ostarine, why would they ban him for life? There's been pro athletes that have done much worse than that. So you guys let me know what it is and what it ain't in the comment section. But that's where we're at with it. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the lies. Bet on Boxing Ego.